It seemed that everything was fine after Jack was discharged from the hospital. But less than 24 hours later, a strange illness suddenly struck him and he collapsed at home. No one expected that the person who had just escaped death would fall into a more critical condition than ever. Jack's mother panicked, crying for help at night, and Tu Tien completely collapsed. What was happening to Jack? Could this be a sign of a mysterious disease that has yet to be discovered? Don't miss the shocking details in today's video. After being discharged from the hospital, Jack did not allow himself to rest even for a day. The days in the hospital caused too much work to pile up. He felt guilty towards everyone and did not want to delay any longer. The very next morning, Jack returned to his busy work schedule, answering the phone, processing paperwork and running everything. However, after only a few hours of trying, he began to feel something was wrong with his body. A dull headache came, his vision gradually blurred, his limbs felt weak as if he had no strength left. Sweat began to pour out. His heart beat abnormally fast, but Jack still tried to get up, not wanting anyone to worry. That afternoon, Jack's mother was sitting in the living room, her eyes occasionally looking out at the sunny yard. Suddenly, Jack walked out of the room, his face somewhat pale. He looked around and asked softly, "Mom, where did Tu Tien go?" She looked up and gently replied, "She went to harvest vegetables in the garden." Jack nodded, then walked slowly to the table and poured a glass of water. His hands were shaking slightly, the water spilling out a little. He sat down on the chair and took a few small sips. Jack's mother looked closely and saw that her son's complexion was different today, pale, tired, and his eyes were sunken. She worriedly asked, "What's wrong, Jack? Do you feel unwell anywhere?" Jack shook his head slightly, trying to force a smile. "I just feel a little tired. Mom, I think it's fine, don't worry too much." After saying that, he stood up and walked slowly into the room. As soon as the door closed, she was still sitting there, feeling uneasy, sensing that something bad was approaching. After seeing Jack enter the room looking tired, his mother still sat in the living room, her heart filled with worry. She put the scarf down on the table, took out her phone and quickly dialed the number of the doctor who had treated Jack. Her voice trembled slightly. "Doctor, Jack just got out of the hospital a few days ago and today he complained of being tired. His face was pale, his limbs were shaking. If you have time, please come over and help me." After the doctor agreed to come and examine him, she immediately stood up and went to the kitchen. While boiling the milk, she sighed deeply, her heart aching. "I wonder if he's overworked. He just got out of the hospital and he's already buried himself in work. Not taking a day off," she muttered, her eyes never leaving the pot of simmering milk. When the milk was cooked, she carefully poured it into a cup, blew on it to cool it down, then brought it upstairs, knocking lightly on the door and entering. She saw Jack lying on his side, his eyes still half open. She placed the cup of milk on the bedside table and gently said, "Get up and drink some milk to regain your strength." Jack struggled to get up, picked up the cup of milk and drank slowly. The warmth from the milk spread through his body, but his face was still tired. After drinking, he put the cup down, lay down on the bed and gently closed his eyes, exhaling, as if he had just released a burden from his heart. A moment later, the doorbell rang. The doctor arrived. The young girl walked in with a familiar medical kit bag on her shoulder, her eyes shining with seriousness and a bit of worry. Jack's mother hurriedly invited her into the room. Jack was still lying down, his face pale, sweat beading on his forehead. The female doctor quickly opened the bag, took out a thermometer and a blood pressure monitor. While working, she asked, "How is Jack feeling?" Jack opened his eyes slightly, his voice hoarse. "He's exhausted. Has a headache, fever, cough. His limbs are weak as if he has no strength left." The doctor nodded, continuing to check carefully. After measuring, she looked at Jack's mother, gently reassuring, "Don't worry too much. Jack has COVID flu. He must have been working too much these past few days so his body is weak. Not strong enough to resist." I will prescribe medicine and IV fluids to stabilize him. She took the IV bottle from the medical bag, professionally inserted it into Jack's arm vein, and instructed, "Just let Jack rest. He'll feel better after the IV." Seeing that Jack had already dozed off, the doctor and his mother quietly walked out to the living room. The two of them sat down on a wooden chair. The faint creaking of the ceiling fan echoed in the quiet space. The female doctor sat down and said softly, "Jack really needs to rest. This time you can't be careless anymore, miss." Jack's mother nodded slightly, her eyes red. The scene changes to the farm. The afternoon sunlight covers the green garden in gold. Tu Tien's ex-father-in-law is standing in front of the simple water tank next to the house, his hands quickly washing the vegetables he just picked. He plans to cook a simple meal to save money. At that moment, Tu Tien returns from the market, carrying a bag of food. Seeing him busy preparing lunch, she quickly walks over. "Are you cooking? Let me do it. You rest a bit." He smiles gently, nods, then sits down on a chair and watches the industrious girl busy in the outdoor kitchen. While cooking, the father and daughter chat. Tu Tien washes the vegetables and gently says, "Dad, don't worry about staying here. Jack's land is very large, all the way up there. He said he will build a small house for us there. As for this farm, he also said he will renovate it, so it will be more convenient for you to stay here." Hearing this, he nodded emotionally. "Jack is truly a very good person. Remember to send him my thanks." A moment later, when the pot of soup was boiling, the fragrant aroma spread throughout the farm. Tu Tien put down the bowl and said, "Dad, eat first. I'll go home first. I don't know if Jack has finished his work yet. I still have to cook for him." He looked at his ex-daughter-in-law's figure with warm eyes, a little sad, then quietly sat down at the table, his heart filled with gratitude. When she just got home, Tu Tien was surprised to see the female doctor sitting in the living room with a pensive face. She hurriedly walked in, her voice full of worry. "Is anyone in our family sick?" "Doctor?" Jack's mother came out from the kitchen, her eyes sad. "Jack is sick again. My son." Hearing that, Tu Tien was shocked. Her heart ached, and she quickly asked, "Where is he?" "Uncle? He is resting in the room," she replied. Without hesitation, Tu Tien quickly ran into the room, opened the door and saw Jack lying still on the bed, his face tired. Tears welled up in her eyes. She quickly walked to the bed, grabbed his hand, and burst into tears. At that moment, the doctor also came in, took out the IV, checked his condition again, and gave him a few instructions before leaving. Tu Tien sat by the bed, whispering softly into Jack's ear words of worry mixed with love. Jack's mother saw the doctor to the door and also returned to the room. Jack smiled weakly and said, "Now that Tu Tien is taking care of you, if you have anything to do, just go." She gently touched her son's forehead and asked, "Are you feeling better?" Jack nodded slightly. "I'm feeling better. Don't worry." She nodded and added, "Mom has porridge cooked in the kitchen. Tu Tien will bring it to Jack later." Then she tiptoed out, leaving the two of them in a quiet space. Tu Tien gently held Jack's hand, her gentle eyes looking at him with worry. "You rest for a bit. I'll go get you some porridge to eat." Jack nodded slightly, his eyes shining with warmth as he looked at the girl he loved taking care of him. Tu Tien walked out of the room, went into the kitchen to check the pot of porridge Jack's mother had cooked. She washed some more herbs, chopped them, and added a little more seasoning to make it more flavorful. Each action was meticulous and loving. When the porridge was hot enough, she carefully scooped it into a bowl, blew on it to cool it down, and brought it into the room. Jack was still lying still. She gently helped him sit up, put a pillow behind his back, and sat down next to the bed. Each spoonful of porridge was slowly brought up by Tu Tien, her eyes attentively following Jack's every expression. The atmosphere was strangely peaceful. Jack smiled and teased, "If I were sick and you took care of me like this, I would want to be sick all the time." Tu Tien chuckled, glaring lightly. "If you were sick like this, I would be worried to death. After eating, she stood up to get him some medicine to drink. Then Jack pulled her hand. His voice coquettish. Come sit on the bed with me for a while. Tu Tien nodded slightly, walked up to the bed and sat next to him. The two leaned on each other's shoulders, quietly telling each other about many things. The small room was filled with love and tenderness amidst the storm of illness.
Tu Tien nắm nhẹ lấy tay Jack, ánh mắt dịu dàng nhìn anh đầy lo lắng. Anh nghỉ một chút đi, em đi lấy cháo cho anh ăn nhé. Jack gật đầu khẽ, đôi mắt anh ánh lên sự ấm áp khi nhìn người con gái mình yêu ân cần chăm sóc. Tu Tien bước ra khỏi phòng vào bếp kiểm tra nồi cháo mẹ Jack đã nấu sẵn. Cô rửa thêm ít rau thơm thái nhỏ rồi nêm nếm thêm chút gia vị. Từng hành động đều đầy tỉ mỉ và yêu thương. Khi cháo vừa đủ nóng, cô cẩn thận múc ra bát thổi nhẹ cho nguội bớt rồi mang vào phòng. Jack lúc này vẫn nằm im. Cô nhẹ nhàng đỡ anh dậy, kê thêm gối sau lưng, ngồi xuống cạnh giường. Từng muỗng cháo được Tu Tien đưa lên một cách chậm rãi, ánh mắt chăm chú dõi theo từng biểu hiện của Jack.